Welcome, everyone, to the Group Frequency Calibration for the invisible dynamic that can crush your progress, otherwise known as entitlement. And as we mentioned in the discussion, this Group Frequency Calibration will give you more clarity as to when you are running this frequency and slowing down your own progress by entering into more of a separate, disconnected state with a lower frequency resonance, like I mentioned, and also to help you come into more neutrality if you happen to be on the receiving end of entitlement. So let's get going. Becoming aware of your body. And as you become aware of your body, becoming aware of the soles of your feet and the back of your head. So noticing the curve and the bumps on the back of the head, the distance between the base of the skull and the top of the skull. Becoming aware of the pores of the skin on the back of the head. And then noticing the soles of the feet, the spaces between your toes, the length of your arches, the hardness of the skin. Yeah. Good. And then become aware of your breath. Just noticing your breath at first. Notice if you have a need to correct your breath or change it or quote unquote make it better, or whether you can just notice it. And after a couple of breaths of just noticing your breath, allowing your breath to become more full, to take up more space in the body. Allowing your breath to take up much more time. Allowing it to become leisurely. Slower. Good. And then starting to imagine your breath expanding and contracting around you like a balloon in all directions. We're starting to cultivate something I call spherical awareness, which is important if you want to deepen your intuition, if you want to experience non-linear magic and synchronicities, opportunity, abundance, and if you want to ascend in your consciousness. So, being aware of imagining, sensing, feeling your breath, expanding and contracting in all directions around you. Good. And now please become aware of your surroundings. Noticing the texture of the air. Noticing if it's dry or if it's heavy and damp. If it feels like it's filled with something heavy like smoke or smog. Noticing its relative temperature. And whether it's moving. Just noticing the texture of the air. Good. And then blinking your eyes open, noticing the quality of the light. So the quality of the light changes depending on where you are, the time of day, the time of year, the weather, all kinds of things. So just noticing the quality of the light. And after a couple of seconds of noticing the quality of the light, please triangulate. So triangulating, for those of you who are new, means to become aware of 3 inanimate objects in the space around you. What those inanimate objects are is not important. Noticing the distance between each object and you, and then feeling that distance. So let's imagine that object A is the desk. And the desk is about 6 feet to you. So you'd notice that distance of 6 feet to you, and then you'd feel the distance between the desk and you. And you do the same thing for objects B and C. And as you do this, you'll start to become more aware of where you are in space. It'll become more clear, more precise, more present for you. And the reason that is important is to help you come into the 0 point of space and time. If you don't know what that is, you can always watch episode 151 of this podcast sometime later. For now, completing triangulation. And whenever you have completed triangulating, blinking your eyes closed and bringing your attention to the top half of your solar plexus. So your solar plexus is between your belly button and the base of your sternum. So your sternum is that big thick bone in the center of your chest where your ribs meet in front of your body. So in the space between your belly button and your sternum, finding the upper half, whatever that means to you. Bringing your hands or fingers here to help you to anchor your attention. Let's take a big breath together. Inhaling, holding your breath for a count of 6. And then after you've completed that 6 count, releasing your breath at the speed and intensity you prefer, holding your breath out for a count of 5. And once you've completed that one single, long, deep breath, breathing normally, keeping your attention here on the upper part of your solar plexus. And we are waiting for the mastermind to become coherent, to coalesce. Because when the mastermind coalesces and becomes coherent, it starts to become extremely efficient. And it picks up more and more momentum, which gives you, as the participant, more momentum to release your distortion patterns at a deeper level and to raise your own vibrational level. So it's an important thing to wait for. So as we do that, for those of you who are new, please know that I'm working on you at the group and the subgroup level. That I sometimes work in silence, especially if I'm working with very high frequencies. I also sometimes make sound, so you may hear me yawn, hum, or exhale sharply. And that's typically when I'm releasing a really sticky pattern, not always, but often. And if I say something that resonates with you, it's likely a distortion pattern that you are running. And if I say something that you really resist, it's likely a distortion pattern that you are running. So I invite you to remain open, curious, and to examine further. Good. Yep. So now that the mastermind has become coherent, bring your attention please to, again, the upper part of that solar plexus, so where your hand has been, in addition to your heart space in the center of your chest in your nipple line. Asking yourself the following question to yourself in your own mind. How can I become even more aware of my connection only to pure source? And that question again, for those of you who are new, is how can I become even more aware of my connection only to pure source? And as you ask yourself that question, please imagine, sense, feel, or become aware of the space in the center of your body. And as you become aware of this surprisingly vast space, imagining, sensing, or feeling a brilliance that starts to become brighter from your very, very, very core. And as this brilliance becomes even brighter still, it starts to expand outwards through all of your cells, through your organs, out through your bones, out through your muscles and your flesh, out through the pores of your skin, into the space between your physical body and your spirit body, which is a sphere at arm's length all around you. Becoming aware of the brilliance within your sphere. Good. And now please become aware of the space all around the sphere. And as you become aware of this infinite space, I'm pulling your frequency resonance higher, irrespective of where it began. Now, for some of you who are new, you may feel a lot. You may feel stuff in your body, and you might feel nothing at all. And that's all great. Everyone's experience is different. And just because you don't feel anything doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means that you're simply not aware of it. So here we go, pulling your frequency resonance higher. Yeah. As many of you know, how high your frequency resonance is or your vibrational level is dictates everything. How you feel, how much distortion you can release, how much opportunity you experience, what your life looks like, how fast your awakening can be. All of this depends on your frequency resonance and how high it is. So this is one of the most important things we do together. There we go. Really nice. Good. Becoming aware, please, of the left side of your neck. And right in the center of your solar plexus, please. So the first thing we're going to release is this fear of not being able to get what it is that you want, and the fear of not being seen. And the third, for another subgroup, is the fear of not being taken seriously. Okay? Like you're not enough to be taken seriously. So therefore, you have to grab for whatever it is that you think you need, or that you want, or that you are entitled to. Releasing these patterns. Good. Mm-hmm. Softening into the space, please. And if you don't understand what softening means, imagine instead dissolving or dropping into this space. Deep within the body. There we go. Good. Bring your attention, please, to the midpoint on the back of your neck and into your pineal gland, which is a sphere right in the center of your brain. And it looks like a marble, okay, about the size of an eyeball, right in the center of your brain. Okay. So I'm going to help you get some distance, okay, from the dynamic of entitlement, where you just feel like you deserve something. And I'm going to help some of you. You have all this righteous indignation pattern going on. Okay, so I'll help you with that. And to help you gain more distance from all of the shoulds. It should be this way. They should give it to me. They should know what it is that I deserve. There's a lot of shoulds and a lot of judgment. Okay, so we're going to release that and then give you distance from it so you can start to be aware of when it is that you move into this frequency resonance, oftentimes without being aware of it. No one really has to give you anything. Okay? But as humans, we have all these rule sets about what it is that we should receive. Releasing this. There we go. Yep. Imagining, sensing, feeling, becoming aware of a brilliant midnight blue that starts to expand through this space, right through the center of the body, all the way out in all directions around you. Yeah. Good. Really nice. All right. So now bringing your attention, please, to your heart space, all the way down to your belly button in a straight line. So I'm going to release some of this heart feeling distortion, okay, when you have received entitlement, meaning someone is being entitled and pushing into your space. Okay, so we're going to release that. And as you bring your attention to this space, also bringing your attention to your spirit body. It's that sphere at arm's length all around you. Helping you to come into more of a neutral space. Good. Bringing your attention now, please, to that xiphoid process, which is right at the base of the sternum. And about 3 inches from your xiphoid process towards your belly button in a straight line, down by about 3 inches or 7 centimeters. Clearing out your pain body. The reason we're clearing out your pain body and resetting it is because your pain body has a memory of you before the frequency work was done. So by clearing it out and resetting it, it allows you to integrate more smoothly and more quickly. You still have to do the work of being aware and confirming the removal, but this makes it a lot easier. Good.
This brings us to the end of this group frequency calibration. I look forward to working with you on the next GFC. If the topic of this GFC resonates with you, it's very likely that more work than can be provided in this one GFC is needed to clear or loosen deeply held distortion patterns in areas that are sticky. Because these patterns are like layers of an onion, usually there are multiple layers to individual topics. Depending on how much of a challenge this topic is for you, it may make sense for you to go deeper than what this one session allows. If you feel this is the case for you, please visit sphericalluminosity.com for more targeted support. If you'd like an opportunity to ask me questions in real time, then subscribe to the Spherical Luminosity YouTube channel and click the reminder bell to be notified when I'm about to go on live. For the latest news about upcoming events and to be notified when sessions with me are released, subscribe to our newsletter. Join us and let's rise together.